Genshin Impact's Archon quests are the main thread to which the player gets to experience the present and past of the world of Teyvat. As of now, there are 30 Archon quests, including the Dainsleif quests, because they do carry a significant weight to the story overall. This is going to be a personal retrospective of each nation's Archon quests and main story, so I'm starting up a new account to experience the game from the very beginning, because I'm nothing if not addicted. I hope that you like this video and subscribe if you enjoy it. When I first started playing Genshin Impact in August of 2021, I never thought that I would love the game as much as I do now. This retrospective is not just me experiencing the game from the beginning, but it is also a love letter to what the game has become to me. The game begins with the intro cutscene, where our twin is assimilated into the Tesseract by the unknown god. We pass out and fish out an idiot that constantly yaps and yaps and yaps and yaps. From there, we go and obtain the power of Anemo from the Statue of the Seven, which I've always found their kit so much more enjoyable than any other element the MC has access to. I don't care what the Dendro or the Pyro MC men say, Anemo is the best. After we obtain the power of Anemo, we meet the Twink and his dragon while we are venturing towards Monstadt. When we arrive in Monstadt, Storm Terror then decides to get down and dirty, so he blows the whole town and we fly up into the air. After defending the city of Monstadt from Storm Terror, we meet Jean and Lisa in the library, and she instructs us that we should go to the Four Winds temples and that we should destroy the crystals in them so that we can weaken the Valen. It's also in this very same part of the game that we unlock what's probably the best part of this entire game: gambling! I love gambling! I love it so much! I love gambling! And that, ladies and gentlemen, marks the end of Act 1. Act 2 starts off with Jean being confronted by a Fatui diplomat that just simply suggests killing the Valen, which is a pretty base move in my opinion. Like, just imagine this. Hey Jean, I see that you're having trouble with that big-ass fly. Just swat it. The fly can't bother you if the fly is dead, bro. Jean, unfortunately, rejects that offer and tells the diplomat to get out! After that, we give Lisa the teardrop that we looted from the Valen after the Twink ran away. The tear is radioactive to vision holders, and Lisa asks why everything suddenly smells like copper. We go out into the square and track down the Twink like a bloodhound to look for any drugs that he may be carrying. We don't find any drugs, but we do discover that we can purify the teardrop by ways of a plot hole. He asks us to go to a tree at Windrise, and tells us that we can become an accomplice to cure the dragon so there won't be any more sucking going around in these parts, and aptly decides to go to church. And so should you, the viewer. You should also go to church. You better be at church this Sunday. We ask the nuns to get the lyre so we can save Monstadt, and she cuts us off because we're not authorized, which is a completely rational move to make. Venti then decides to out himself as the Animal Archon, revered by the people. She laughs him off and we leave defeated. That's what you get for being an absentee father, Venti. Your kids don't recognize you, nor do they want anything to do with you. And Venti coaxes us into stealing the lyre just like an absentee father. And so, we wander into the church to steal the holy lyre der Himmel. We bob and weave to the pedestal where the lyre is held, only to be mocked by an ultra instinct Sisson mage. The lyre is stolen, we are spotted by what's probably the most useless military power I have ever seen in a video game. We escape, by no surprise, to the Angel's Share. For some reason, Venti, as a fugitive, asks Diluc for the most inconspicuous table, which I don't have to tell you is the worst decision you could make in that circumstance, but Diluc agrees to do it nonetheless. Two guards appear, one Slim Jim and one who should get fat-shamed by the knight a little bit more often. The guards find nothing suspicious because why would they, am I right? And Venti breaks it down for Diluc and goes. Jean comes over as Jean because she can do more as an individual than the acting Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius. Do you understand just how useless the Knights are if even the second highest in rank of the entire military force of Monstadt has less power to fix a country's issues than an individual? Perhaps there's something that I'm missing, but they really set the Knights up for failure in this one. The team then heads out to beat a mass to get the lyre back so Venti can perform quick time events for Dvalin. We obtain the Lyre der Himmel and collect more dragon tears because we can never have too much radiation among these parts. We purify them as well, and that somehow repairs the lyre. Yeah. And they just never bother to explain how that is possible. It is just something that we can do, I guess, and that is never done or mentioned again until Natlan, 4 years after launch, where the writers suddenly remembered that we can do that. Anyway, rant over. We head to Star Snatch Cliff to summon Dvalin, and Venti fails the quick time event and gets 1 star on the Purification Rhythm Heaven after an Abyss Mage startles him, which is fair, I guess. Dvalin flies away, and the Lyre der Himmel is Dunzo! Our twin is revealed to be the prince or princess of the Abyss. Yep, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Act 3 begins when Duluk tracks down an Abyss Mage to the Dawn Winery, and we predator the prey like predators until it pees. Venti recalls the smell of the pee, and it is the same pee that gives him a hunch on how to dispel the barrier around Storm Terror's lair. Jean, who is Jean and not Jean, forgot we can purify abyssal corruption by means of a plot hole and suggests that we kill off Dvalin. Venti, not being dumb, adequately calls her an idiot. Venti is able to dispel the barrier and we walk into the old Monstadt ruins. Venti can't break the final barriers on Storm Terror's lair as it is a barrier put up by the previous Anemo Archon. There are light actuators spaced out around the central tower and we break the barriers, allowing us to chase after Dvalin. We catch up to Dvalin and we take him down by partaking in what is called engaging gameplay. After we defeat and purify Dvalin, we fall back to Earth, and he catches us so that there is more to Genshin we can impact by Genshining. Venti gives Dvalin true freedom by giving him the status of a stray, as he does not want Dvalin to take orders from no one and is kicked out into the streets. Dvalin is now free. Jean gives the people of Monstadt a speech to say that Dvalin was not himself because he was under the corruption of the Abyss and they are happy with it. While we were away, the Hill Trolls have banded together and attacked the city, which is out of character for them to do according to Amber. Meanwhile, Kaya remains in the city to beat some Abyss Mages and find out the abyssal creatures are all at the command of one person or entity as they don't know who it is at the moment. Amber sits us down to chat. Unimportant stuff. We then go back with Venti and with Jean to the church to give back the heavily damaged Lyre der Himmel. Barbara is being ungrateful that the lyre is returned and Venti does a little deception and fixes the holy Lyre der Himmel. Barbara, the ungrateful brat, storms off and we run away in a classic freeze frame and everyone is happy. Nothing of note happens next, right? Venti dies. No, not really. We see Signora, 11th of the Fatui Harbingers, steal the noses, and we wake up much, much later. We head with Jean to the tree at Windrise and ask Venti about the noses and mentions about the cataclysm that took place 500 years ago. He advises us to go to Liyue next to meet with the Geo Archon. And that marks the end of the prologue. In my opinion, Monstadt does a great job at setting up each main faction that is going to have a hand in the main story of the game. One of the biggest gripes that I have with this Archon quest and how this story is set up is how we are able to purify the abyssal power. I've heard from multiple Genshin lore theorists like My Name for Now, Ashikai, and I believe Minsleaf as well, that perhaps one way we are able to purify the abyssal power is through a remnant of our previous power before we came to Teyvat, which could very well be one of the explanations as to how we can, but it does not make, as the main character must have tried to use their previous power before and then realized that they don't have it anymore. My second gripe is how useless the military is made out to be in Mondstadt. The military powers of literally every other nation is so much better. Jean could have utilized the knights to their advantage to get to the bottom of why Dvalin is attacking Mondstadt and kept the identity of Venti private, since he clearly does not want his identity to be known unless it is necessary for it to be revealed. This would have taken so much of the tedious back and forth out of the quest by leaving the fetch quests to the foot soldiers and the fighting by the main party. If Jean didn't do it because of Varka, it still does not make sense to me. As acting Grand Master of the Knights, she has delegated authority to make sure that Monstadt is safe. We have seen the utilization of military power done in nations such as Liyue and Sumeru before, and it was executed greatly. If you do have a better reason as to why Jean didn't use the knights, or if I missed something, please leave it down in the comments below. I would love to know your thoughts. I love how the reveal was done for our twin to be the ruler of the Abyssal Realm. Although I do think that if the reveal was done later, perhaps at the end of the second Dainsleif questline, that it would have had a better payoff. You know, that we find out alongside the MC just who the ruler of the Abyss is. Perhaps the writers did this so that they can captivate us early with the mystery of why the twin has joined. The way the Fatui was introduced to me, I found genuinely threatening when I first played the game. Up until that point, Venti was the strongest person we have met in the game so far, and to see him get downed without a revive so easily genuinely had me concerned for him, and solidified the Fatui as a threat to the Archons. Their goal was made clear from the very beginning: obtain the Gnosis by any means necessary, and Signora made it very clear that she had beef with Venti. The prologue, although it does have its shortcomings, does a great job at setting up the story and what we can expect from the game going forward. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Cheers. Genshin we can impact by Genshining. Venti... Okay.